2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tomb. I'm your host, Ty himself, and yeah, I'm so far behind. Wallahi, I'm finished.
It's been an adventure.
We had a very long day, but that's all right.
Yeah.
If someone told me that I was going to be recording an episode today, I would not believe them. To be honest,
You set the time though, sir. Like,
dog, I want you to understand.
You literally asked, "Can we record an episode today?" And I say, "Yeah, why not? Let's do it."
Yeah, but like that was after I left my house.
Okay, well,
without my big mic.
Here we are.
So now we're using the clip-ons. I really enjoy these.
The brand new technology, he calls it. The new innovative technology, he calls it.
Was better than the audio issue that we had on the last episode where I had to do like 20,000 minutes of editing.
This is true.
Speaking of that, I apologize once again. Me and the sound department don't really agree sometimes.
It's only one dude, though.
Shut up. They have been fired and rehired.
Yo, it's only one dude. That's crazy.
Sometimes they want to quit, but it's okay. We'll figure it out.
It's all him.
But no, as I always say... Oh, wait, no. We are back in the original location.
We are.
Yes.
My basement.
Yes. My God. What's the name? Yes, we're back in the original location for our break. I'm on winter break from school, so probably within the next 2-3 weeks from this recording time, I'm going to try to get out the last episode on Sunday. But I'm a little stressed out regarding that. It's just a matter of audio. Mm-hmm. Like, one of the main issues right now is that one of the mics literally got destroyed. And I was just like, all right, we're going to thug it out. But the issue was a matter of space, time, continuity and stuff. But it's fine. It's whatever. We'll figure it out. That's what we do here at TOTT. We make shit fly.
Love the acronym. Love the catchphrase. Don't do that though. Don't do that.
Why are you hating?
I'm not hating. I'm just.
Why are you hating?
Subtly critiquing.
My asshole. What's the name? So everyone, as I always say, welcome to the Tomb, and I hope that this is a long-standing podcast that can be made for not only us to discuss on, but also for you to listen, discuss, and feel free to reach out to us. Because don't get me wrong, like I love a good opportunity to just talk it out and do whatever we need to do. Because everyone has their own voice. And yes, sometimes it's a little bit more silenced than others due to other people's actions and stuff like that. But everyone has the right to speak. So please, speak. Tell me what you want to say. I'll listen, and I'll take the time to process it and understand it the best that I can. If I don't understand it, then I'll ask questions, and that's where our discussions begin. But this podcast is mainly a place to spread awareness on mental health and give people advice on topics that plague us on a daily basis. But you already knew that. We're on like episode 8. Episode 8, I think. Yeah.
8 episodes and counting.
Either 7 or 8. Yeah.
Say 8.
8?
Yeah.
All right.
Always go up one.
All right. We're on 8. We're 8 strong.
8 strong, baby. Woo!
So the newest episode is not as different, but it's something that I've probably wanted to discuss for a while, but I didn't really know how to discuss it. So I hope you enjoy this. The new topic is, drumroll please, embracing the journey.
What a loaded one.
Title card.
What a loaded topic, man.
Yes, extremely loaded. My God. Yeah, no. So this is gonna be the first of embracing the journey, because the idea of embracing the journey, like quite literally, the way I wanted to do it at first was just having a conversation regarding like the importance of traveling with the youth within like words. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. Take your time.
When you're younger and as you get older, you should like travel more, experience more, and like see new things. Due to the fact that it's like you can't live a life in a closed off environment and be expected to prosper and develop. I want to see you grow. You have any words, Caleb?
About the journey?
About the journey.
Well, I know that you mentioned that, the journey is about, traveling the world, seeing new places, but bro, I feel like life itself is the journey, right? Not to be like, prophet or anything, but like, I think life itself is quite the journey. You know what I mean? Like, from when you first, take your first steps as an infant to like wherever you go as time takes you. I can't do words either. But I guess like, yeah, no, life is a journey, and I guess everything that you experience is like a human being. That's a part of the journey. That's a part of the experience, right? So I look at the journey not as a physical thing, but a mental thing, a spiritual thing.
I could definitely understand that. That's actually something that like I want to go into, but mainly going into the idea of like personal growth in its own right. So, is there any like small stories that you could like say for right now regarding your personal growth within not just like academically, not just emotionally, not just physically, but developmentally, and like how you believe that?
Yeah, yeah. Um. Well, obviously, us as human beings, we all want to strive to be better people. That is the goal. For me, though, I'm a man of faith, right? And I'm a man of spirituality, right? So I don't know when exactly it started, but I think there came a point this year where I was just like, you know what? I need to get closer to God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd say that the journey I'm on now is just getting closer to God, understanding His Word, understanding His will for my life. Because if life is a journey, then I'd say that for my life, God is the guide, right? So um, I believe that God has great things in store for me. All I need to do is keep on this path, keep on living. And so I guess small stories. It's not really a story. It's just the event. The moment, the little moments where I decided to go upstairs in a quiet room in my attic, right? And I just decided to crack open the Word and just start silently meditating, reading. Before I do that, before I start any Bible reading, I take the time to pray for anybody in my life, whether it be my friends, my family, just anybody, right? Most recently, I prayed for my family members. You is my best friend.
Raw.
Yeah, and I prayed for myself, right? Prayed for the people I know, and yeah, I give Him thanks, give Him the glory, and I pray for the best understanding, interpretation of His Word, and I go on my journey, right? I go on my journey through His Word, um, and so yeah, it's stuff like that really that's my journey, right? I guess my other journey would be, like I said, life itself, right? I'm at a point where I'm about to embark into the world of adulthood, right? And well, I am an adult. Let's not say I'm going to be an adult. I am an adult.
A big boy adult.
Yeah, just like the real world, like no school, like no university, just raw real life.
Context on that. So, both me and Caleb are like 22. I'm in my junior year of college, and he's about to exit his senior year. So he is about to hit the real world.
Yeah.
And yes, it's a little hard to like think about sometimes, but there's got to be a time where it's like, yeah, no, it's time to get ready to get into the real world.
Yeah. No, and I definitely feel that. But I guess it's more fear than anything, because I know what I want to do with my life. I know what I want, what career I want. I know, what I want to do, with the talents I have, and I know where I want to end up, right? The end goal for me is to be an independent sci-fi novelist, right? To just be in a space where I can, or be in a place in life where I can write 24/7, where I can wake up, write my stories at my desk, set my own pace, submit it to a journal, or turn it into a book at some point, and then go to sleep, right?
Mm.
Work on my pieces for the day and go to sleep. That's my end goal, right? And I feel that I don't know where the starting point is,
Mm.
right? I don't know exactly who exactly do I talk to say, hey, I want to get that started. Now, in college, they teach you, especially in my major, they teach you, networking, get in contact with your agent, your editor, right? Get people to read your book, read your stories, right? And I'm doing that, I guess, right? But I recognize that where I am, I don't really have a mentor figure that mentors me in the art of creative writing. Because yeah, you got professors, right? But they're not exclusive to you, right? So going out of college is pretty scary because I don't know what I'm going to do. Of course, there's the expectation of, you know, getting a job making money, but I haven't really started thinking about that because I have to finish college, right?
Mm.
So if we're going to talk about journey, the mental journey to like juggle all of these things and systematically try to maneuver through these different stages, final few semesters of college, out of college. Right now, I'm in the final few semesters, right? So my final few semesters, my mind is solely on what last classes do I need to take? What am I going to do for my capstone? You know, how am I going to pay back student loans? That's where I'm at in my real life journey. So I guess to sum it all up, I'm taking two journeys right now. Really one, but you split up in two parts. The spiritual journey to make sure I'm, morally on track, doing the good, God's will, and then physically, um, and just trying to transition as a sci-fi novelist out of college and into a career where I can write the stories I want to.
That's perfect though.
Nice.
But in all actuality, I've I guess we could say that we're pretty much on the same journey. I don't really know about my religious journey or my
Yeah.
spiritual journey,
Yeah.
but I do have an understanding my business journey.
Mm-hmm.
Like career wise, I've kind of already known what I was gonna do or what I wanted to do
Mm-hmm.
for the last like 5-10 years.
Same. Yeah.
My goal was to be a military officer
Mm-hmm.
to support my country and help my country. Have there been ups and downs and stuff? Yeah. Oh my god. Not being able to get into the Coast Guard, the failing of my first class.
He'll get back up. Don't worry. He'll get back up.
I know.
He'll get back up there. Don't
The
worry.
worst part is I had straight A's.
I mean, yeah, that is pretty bad. But you gotta, there's always gonna be that one. That one class where you just didn't do that well, didn't do as well as you should have. But you know what? You gotta bounce back and you gotta keep going.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like there's always ups and downs, and I have an understanding that like, regardless of those ups and downs, I have to keep pushing through and
Exactly.
persevering.
Right.
It's sometimes it's a little bit hard to continue to push through
Yeah.
when you don't even see the end, and that's not something that
Yeah.
like is talked about very often. Where it's like you're not able to see the end of your tunnel. Like you're kind of hoping for the best, but
Yeah.
you have to prepare for the worst.
Right.
I am at a point right now where it's like I know what I want to do,
Uh-huh.
but how I go about it and how I go about the process to doing it is up to me, and that is really scary.
Right. Because you basically are your own person now.
Like I'm
Like, yeah, you may live in your parents' house, but when it comes to making your own decisions, that is on you.
like I've for me at least, I've come to terms with the fact that it's like, yeah, I've been living the big boy life. I I, I try not to depend on my mother as much as I used to, which I should really like try to take not really take advantage of, but be accepting more of it. Like being able to like reach out to my mother and asking like her for help and stuff like that, and like having more conversations.
Right.
Because I realize now that like I don't really talk to her that much or anyone for real. It's honestly kind of sad now that I think. Well, not sad, but it's not good. It's just like it kind of seems like I'm burning bridges. When in all actuality, at least this past semester, I kind of just needed my own space.
Right.
Like I needed my own time to develop and grow, because like quite literally most of my life I have had someone in my room. I've always been with someone. I've always been around someone, and having a single this past semester, which is really nice.
Singles are the
But I didn't know how to accept it,
right.
to be honest. Like, yes, having a single is cool and all, but like at first it was kind of lonely.
Yeah.
Like coming back into the room and not having anyone in your room and not being able to like experience people's company and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
Like you're always alone. Well, not always alone, but that's something that I always thought about. Like I was just like I'm always alone or I'm feeling lonely. When in all actuality, what I should have been feeling was you have the right to have your own alone time.
Right.
Like this is your room. This is
Yeah.
your place of like peace. This is your place of rest. Like this is where you belong.
And I feel like two things, right? I feel like those hardships, those setbacks, right? That realization that this this is you, this is on you. That makes the journey. That is the very essence of the journey. The setbacks, the realization that this is your, I don't know how to put it, arc. This is your arc. Um, that's what makes the journey. And I think in every person's journey, there comes a point. Let's call it a transition point for now. But there comes a point in every person's journey to where they just need to be alone by themselves, right?
Hmm.
Because I feel like you can't go on a journey without discovering the person who's traveling, and that person who's traveling is you, right?
Mm.
So you can't really go on a journey without fully knowing who you are as a person, right? Because
Hmm.
without knowing who you are, I don't think you can really know how to handle those setbacks, how to handle those um, pitfalls that you might fall into along the way,
True.
right? And I think I'm in that place right now to where I feel like the old friend group I used to have, right, back in high school, I don't, I feel like I don't belong there. And it's nothing they did, right? Matter of fact, it's totally a me thing to where, I'm going on this physical journey and, I'm kind of realizing things, kind of realizing, maybe, you know, hanging around these people isn't what's good for me, right? Maybe those habits I had before, maybe that's really destructive. Maybe I'm not helping that. Maybe the way I speak to people sometimes, maybe that's not beneficial,
Hmm.
right? So it's this time of transition for me. I think I'm not trying to speak for you or anything, but I think that's what you're going through too, to where you are you're in a space where you're by yourself, and it gives you time to realize that it causes you to reevaluate
Mm.
um, who you are, where you are, and who you want to be.
True. What's the name? This, my apologies. Filler. Quite literally, this past semester, as you said before, I pretty much used this past semester to develop who I really want to be. Like I try to increase and diversify my style. I pretty much grew within my circle of like people. What I realized in my freshman and sophomore year, my freshman year, I felt like I was always out, like I was always running away. I was always ducking and dodging, hiding, and
Right, because this is a new environment. You don't really know it that well. It's unfamiliar to you.
shoot, I had to learn.
Yeah.
Then my sophomore year, I was all over the place trying to figure out who I wanted to be. But in all actuality, I kind of just spaced myself out too much. Like I was all over Vermont. Like I was everywhere. My God.
Yeah.
And then now that I had my single, it's kind of not forced me, but allowed me to settle down, to sit in my room and be at peace. Like I think I've spent more time in my room this past semester than I have within the last 2 years. And it's so nice. Like I've been able to watch movies. I didn't even think
great.
I didn't even
I've been watching movies too.
what
Right,
movies
I,
you
I have a whole watch. I have a whole watch list.
You have a watch list?
I do have a watch list.
What's the name? I appreciate that you sent it to me earlier.
I did, yeah. Interstellar. We gotta watch Interstellar.
Okay. I gotta find some time to do that.
Yeah, no, we'll find time. Find time.
I will.
Well, yeah, no, I think it's great that you're spending time alone watching movies.
I'm spending it. Oh no, we cannot do that. We cannot do that.
Do what?
No, there's this really good song that I enjoy. I think it's Sierra Leone by Frank Ocean. Oh my God, I love Frank Ocean. I love Frank Ocean.
Well, yeah. I guess one question I have when it comes to the journey, where you want to be, who you want to be when you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something that every person needs to have while in their journey, right? Is there something that like no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter where you want to be, do you feel like there's something that everyone needs to have? And not like a goal, but like everyone kind of needs to like be equipped with.
For me at least, it's the willingness to lose it all to gain everything. I'm not saying I've lost everything.
Right.
I'm not saying that I've given up everything, but like if it really came down to the nitty-gritty and I had to lose it all again. I'm not saying I would be ready for that.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would suck. But I'd have to be accepting of the fact that it happened. And I would kind of just have to move on with that fact and accept that fact.
Right. For me, I think while I'm on this journey, I need to develop and continue to develop a sense of legacy.
Ooh, you're right.
Because I feel like, for me, I feel like I need to develop my stories a lot more during my journey. Because number one, that's how I document my journey, right? Through the nonfiction accounts that I tell. Even the fiction accounts. Fiction is a bit more covert because it tells how my writing has grew for my journey. But like the nonfiction is basically how I have grew as a person. But mainly, I feel like I need to develop a sense of legacy, and because I want the feeling of when I'm gone, when my journey is finished, when my journey of life is finished, I want to leave something behind for the world to see. It's the old cliche, make your mark on the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing. And for me, I think it's my stories.
I can respect that.
My nonfiction stories, because that's how I'm remembered. That's how I want to be remembered, by the stories I tell my life. So yeah, sometime in the future when I'm not trying to be famous or anything, but like, if a relative of mine down the line, let's say great grandchild, comes up to their father and says, "Hey, who is Caleb David?" Right? And
Frederick?
yeah, I wouldn't be able to say that. I want somebody to, go online or if it's my family, go upstairs with a box that has all my portfolio, all my stories in it, and I want that person to get that portfolio, and I want them to say, "This is who I was. This is who Caleb David was," right there, and that's the goal, right? To have my stories be my legacy.
I can respect that.
Now I can't say that for everyone, right? I think it'd be nice if everyone could create something of theirs, either from their imagination or throw it into your hands, their vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice if people were to have that sense of legacy, right? Because I feel like that's how you're really remembered, right? When you build something, when you invest in something, when you create something, right? That spawns from your own vision and your imagination, that's forever, right? Mm-hmm. Like my stories will long outlive me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like having that something that you created that outlives you, that's not like a child or anything. I think that is one of the main goals of my journey. I think the main goal of my journey is to find peace.
I can respect that.
To be content with where I'm at all the time. Peace and joy. Find peace and joy.
Nah, big time respect to that. Speaking of legacy and stuff like that, so like at least like for the later part of this past semester, I've also been pretty big on legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of one of the reasons why I was like really, really gung ho with this military thing. Because like what I realized is like technically I am first generation.
Nice.
And I'm the first of my name, first generation military, and I'm not saying my kids or anything need to go military or anything, or any of my bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do want them to understand is that there is adversity. Yeah. And what I'm thinking of doing is not only am I thinking of designing a family crest, but also doing like a tattoo thing. Mm-hmm. Where it's like as you like get older or like as you develop, like you have like the right to gain like more tattoos and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And it'll be like bands like across my body. Nice. I'm gonna probably like design it a little bit more like as I get older. Yeah. But I have an understanding that like I want to do these things. Yeah. Because like as you said before, our life is our legacy. I don't remember a lot of my life personally. I don't remember a lot of my stories. I don't really know why, but I don't really remember a lot of things regarding my past.
I remember my struggles that I've been through. It serves as a reminder just how far I've come. Right? True. Because personally, for those who don't know, I wasn't supposed to make it this far in life. Hey. Being born with the disabilities and the conditions I have. In the medical world, they usually tell you the life expectancy with that condition disease. And I have something called prune belly, which is why I have no abs. I don't have any abs. I was born without the muscle, and it affects a lot of things. I can't name all of them, but that's the one thing that it's known for. But anyway, the doctor said, he's not going to live very long. My life expectancy was like 2, right? And before my mom's pregnancy, or during my mom's pregnancy, I think before she actually gave birth, the doctors were like, you should probably just terminate because he's not going to live very long. You're not going to have him very long, so there's no point in going having the birth because he's not going to be here.
Doctor.
Nah,
boo that man.
Doctors they do the best they can. They call it like this. So you can't really blame the doctor because
I understand.
Yeah, it's just how it is, and sometimes even the most professional people can be wrong about a lot of things.
True. Right?
But yeah, no.
It's defying expectation.
Obviously, I lasted way longer than originally planned.
He's 20 years in spite of that doctor.
22 years.
Well, he said you were going to last 2.
True.
So you're 20 years in spite of that doctor.
Yeah.
Main goal, live in spite.
So, but yeah, no, it's stuff like that. So I had that, and then I had 9 whole years on dialysis. And, we got to go into that one day, but that was just, it was a lot. Having to wake up every day knowing that, you are basically slowly dying, right? Because what dialysis keeps you alive, right? But it doesn't really, being on dialysis, it's not, you're alive, but you're not living. And I have to do that 3 times a week for 3 to 4 hours. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. After school, I take this bus, I go to the hospital, I sit in the chair, they hook me up, and I had to make my own fun for about 3 hours. And off dialysis, I would have to moderate how much I drink, how much I eat. So, if I was on dialysis today, right, still, I probably couldn't go out with you guys, right? I probably couldn't, do all the things I could do. I couldn't eat all the foods I could eat. Because on dialysis, you're restricted so much in what you eat and drink.
We used to eat hummus.
Huh?
I remember we used to eat like hummus.
That was probably one of the only things I really could eat.
Hummus and grapes, crackers.
Yeah. No, actually.
Them Fig Newtons that I would always steal.
It's actually, yeah, you would. Yeah, but no, that's the kind of thing. That's how dialysis was. Being on this so restrictive and limiting diet. And the water was worse. I can only have one liter a day. Right? I was restricted to 1 liter a day. Now that I have a working kidney, I can now drink 2 liters to infinity.
Hooray!
Right? The goal for me every day is to drink 2 liters, but if I can drink more than that, more power to me. Right? But yeah, that just goes to show that dialysis was not a fun way to live. Right? And now that I'm out of that, I'm often reminded of what I had to go through. Right? I've also been through a lot of, mental stuff. During that time on dialysis, my mental state was in the gutter. Right? When no one tells you that you're slowly dying, but you just know it in everything you do, it's crushing because nobody says it to you, right? Nobody says, hey, dialysis, yeah, they tell you it's temporary, but they don't really tell you, what it does to you, right? And they especially don't tell you that some people don't make it. Some people, they're on dialysis with this limiting lifestyle for the rest of their lives, right? And they die without
ever experiencing
getting a kidney. And I don't want to get it wrong, but I think I knew a person on dialysis to where his name was Brandon, I think. And I saw him. He was this older guy, right, in the unit. One of the oldest guys in the unit. And he would make everyone laugh. And, one day he didn't show up to dialysis, right? And he got a kidney, right? Fast forward all these years later, I found out that he died. He passed away. I don't know if he got a kidney or not, but the fact that can happen to you, right? The fact that you can be on dialysis and just not really have a life until death is really scary, right? I've thought about suicide way back. I thought about suicide on dialysis too. Trigger warning for those who are triggered. But yeah,
his fault.
Yeah, it was no.
Probably should have done trigger warning. I think I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
Write that shit down.
Yeah. We should do trigger warnings from now on. But
like
yeah, there was a point where I didn't want to live anymore. I was 12, right?
Did we meet like 13 or 14?
I think we met around middle school. So,
I remember that, like 6th grade.
6th grade. So it was a little bit before I met you, right? Because at 12, you're what? 6th grade.
That's what I'm saying, like 5th grade, 6th grade.
So I think it was that summer before, or maybe those months before middle school. Regardless, I just told my parents, hey, I don't want to live anymore, and it was mainly because I had one friend on dialysis, right? His name was Mark. And yeah, dialysis for children is real, right? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's a very depressing and grim. It's a grim situation when you understand, right? But anyway, I met this kid named Marquez, and we would come in at the same time, right? And we make a game out of it, right? Because we would get there first, we would finish first, right? We would tell jokes, we would laugh, and have this Xbox 360, and we could play both time we would play together on the Wii and Xbox, right? And honestly, that made my 3 hours on dialysis, right? Until one day he just stopped showing up, right? Now, usually, when somebody doesn't show up, it means either they transferred somewhere else, they're sick, or they got a kidney, right? And so I show up to the dialysis unit, right? And I don't see Marquez, right? And, maybe I'm thinking, maybe he got moved to a different day for the week. I didn't think much of it, but then I stopped seeing him more and more. And the funny thing is, nobody said anything. Nobody said anything about Marquez.
It just became a normality.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It was just one day he was here, one day he wasn't, right? And so I grew restless, and I finally asked, right? And I remember they closed the curtain, all the nurses gathered around me, and they said, Marquez got a kidney, right? Now, usually, they don't tell patients, right, when someone gets a kidney. Yeah, and in that moment when I found out, the immediate expected response was being extremely happy for him. Because, he gets to live this new, better life. But being 12, I was devastated. I was heartbroken because my friend was gone. My friend had left without me, right? He finished without me.
He beat the game that you guys had.
Yeah. He finally won the game, right? Except there were no rematches, right? And I was upset mainly because 1, I was alone. 2, I didn't have any other friends. But 3, I was still stuck in this life. I was still stuck in dialysis, and he got to live a better life than me. I think it was then where I was like, you know what? I don't want to live like this anymore. And so from there, they were like, all right. They took that as an extreme, and then they put me in the psychiatric ward of the hospital, where I spent 3 weeks, but it felt like 3 months. And yes, it's stuff like that I remember as I'm going through my journey now as an adult. Yeah, I know I'm not finished, but like even up to this point,
you had a lot of struggle.
Yeah, it's been one hell of a ride. It's been one hell of a ride.
Your dad lore, outrageous.
My dad lore is gonna be legendary, bro.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think about this all the time. I'm like, I feel like I need a little bit more dad lore. Let's go to Cancun.
Yeah.
Let's go to Mexico.
Yeah. Mexico would be really nice for the dad lore. But yeah, no, it's
Take a boys trip.
actually. But yeah, when I think about my journey, my struggle, that's what I think about, right? And what I find interesting is that every individual person has a different story, just like that, with just as many hardships, just as many setbacks, just as many low moments in their life. But the subject matter can be totally different. Mine was medical, right? But you got to think there are many different issues in the world, right? So, one person going through abuse, one person be going through, just more severe mental things, right? So yeah, I think it's fascinating that we as humans get to have life at all, to have these journeys. So yeah.
For real. It's so real, man. But no.
Hey, this is real life.
Period. But no, actually, I wanted to go into defying expectations, and quite literally, you beat the odds. You defied all expectations, and now you're at a point where it's like, yes, I've beaten those odds,
Oh,
but let's
no.
continue to beat those odds.
Yeah, the fight's still going. The fight ain't over. Right?
Hey.
I still got a life to fight for. I still got a lot of battles in my life.
Hey, another 100 more years of straight resilience in spite of that doctor.
Yeah. Yeah, but every day is some sort of battle, whether it be big or small, right? And it's not just for me; it's for everybody, right? Every day is a new day to win, right? To conquer that struggle you've been going through, right? To conquer that hurdle that kept you blocked from where you want to be. Every day we get a new chance to just strive and to be better, right? Every day we get to, every day is an opportunity to take a new step in our journey.
Now, respect to that on some big shit. Hey, he might not be able to stand crazily, but he's standing on business. He might be hobbling on that jump, but he is on business.
I ain't hobbling, bro. What you mean, though?
Oh, Lord. But respect to that, big time. And then also, one of the next topics that I wanted to go into was passion pursuits. And quite literally, your next step is your passion pursuit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I saw myself here after dialysis, wanting to write stories. I mean, I've always had the passion, but dialysis kind of blocked me from that, right? Because before that, it was just yeah, I want to do these things, but because I'm on dialysis, I don't know if I'm gonna get to do it at all. But now that I'm not on dialysis, the floodgates are open.
What's name? Do you think dialysis was kind of like your cloud, where it's it kind of blocked anything that you could see in the future?
One of my clouds, right?
What's the name? There was, I forgot what. Oh, well, it's the Doctor Strange and Doctor Fate. I just watched Black Adam.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was all right. It was all right movie. But one of the main concepts is the fact that fate can only be changed by you.
Right.
There's a multitude, millions and millions and billions and trillions of things that can happen.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of what you choose to do in that moment to go forward. Even the idea of stopping and just not even moving. I could stop right here and get back on it.
Yeah.
So it just words. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Take your time.
But quite literally, it's up to you what you choose to do.
Yeah.
And up to you what you can continue to do. Yes, it might be hard for right now. I'm not saying my route or my path is harder than anyone's at all.
Everybody has their own path, and you can't really say that path is different or it's more difficult than this path.
But what I am saying is continue to try to push through. And if you feel as though that there's a point where it's you can no longer push through, and be willing to accept help mentally, emotionally, physically. Be able to like just have those combos.
Yeah, so as you were saying though, I think dialysis was definitely one of those things. Right? I don't know if it's the biggest. It might be the biggest because I'm only 22. I'm still pretty young, so I don't know what other clouds that are in my sky, but dialysis is definitely one of them. But I feel like another one of my clouds is myself, right? Dealing with my own self-esteem, my own self-confidence. Just realizing that I am indeed a person, and I do have opportunities now that like everyone else. So, yeah.
But that's fine. Like being able to like actually say that I have the same opportunities as everyone else.
Yeah.
One of the things that like I remember seeing when I was a little kid, and I honestly think about it nowadays, is that like we're in a rat race.
Yeah.
And everyone starts at different spots in the world, and it's like I hope that like if I'm able to even enter that race or enter that game, will I be at a point where it's like I don't hinder myself? Because like don't get me wrong, there are things that hinder us naturally, but I hope that like I don't hinder myself or hold myself back.
Yeah, I think that's also part of the journey. Realizing that, recognizing that you yourself can be your own obstacle, and I think that also each and every day we have to kind of push past our own self perception, our negative self perception, our doubts about ourselves, our worries about ourselves. I think if not any overt factor, I think that's the main obstacle. Right? It's just getting past our own, just ourselves, right? It comes back to the age-old saying, like, you're your own worst enemy, right? Or the only person that's stopping you from reaching your dreams is you. So I think part of the journey is just overcoming the critic within you, right? Because I'm a firm believer of in God, number one, but second, when it's all said and done, right, you are the key, right, to whatever you want to do, right, whatever you want to do. Yeah, you can be inspired. Yeah, you can get help, but at the end of the day, nobody's going to make these changes for you. You have to want to change. You have to want to move forward, right? That's why, never mind. But
okay.
Yeah, no, it's just you are. This is quite literally your journey. Nobody else is on this journey but you. I mean, you can have people on the journey, right?
You can allow people to be a part of your journey.
Yeah, you can allow people to be part of the journey, but like
it's your journey.
It's your journey first and foremost, right? Yeah.
That's definitely something to talk about, and another thing that I kind of wanted to go into was like overcoming doubts and fears as well as learning from setbacks. Like me personally, like as I said before, like I'm afraid that my goals are not that they're too big. Don't get me wrong. I know they're humongous.
Yeah.
I know for certain that they're massive. But if I'm not willing to set such high goals and set such high expectations of myself, then what am I doing but wasting my own time?
Right.
Someone told me once when I was a little kid, shoot for the stars and land on the moon. I don't want to just land on the moon. I'm trying to land on Uranus.
The hell?
Or Pluto or the next galaxy.
Oh, you know what? My fault.
You suck. Boo!
I
Boo! Boo!
I misread that because you said Uranus, and I thought I forgot that was the whole planet. I'm so sorry.
But no, like I don't just want to settle for this. I don't want to settle just for the moon.
Yeah.
Like I want to reach out and keep
Reach
going.
for Jupiter.
I'm going for outside the Milky Way.
Reach for another galaxy, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't want to just stop what I got going on.
Yeah.
Just because there's a setback.
And I think it's fitting that I like to be a writer because, writing is a journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your journey is the book, to finish the book, to complete the book. And you can't finish the book by, number one, not writing. You can't finish your book by not writing, right? You have to sit down every day and be willing to write. But also, you can't write a book by going back every few seconds and you can make mistakes, right? You can make mistakes, but don't forget the core vision. You know what I mean?
Your reason.
Don't forget your reason for writing a book. Don't forget your main motivation for writing a book. Don't forget your why, right? And of course, there are gonna be first drafts, second drafts, third draft, fourth draft, full of mistakes, right? Your journey's gonna be full of mistakes. You're gonna fall, but as long as you just don't stop at the third draft. Don't stop at the fourth draft. You gotta keep doing the same thing. You gotta keep going. You gotta keep writing. You gotta keep pushing.
Gotta keep swimming.
What do we do? We swim. Yeah, love that movie. Yeah. Love that movie. But yeah, that's basically there's no better analogy to going on a journey than writing a book. Right? Because you gotta have passion for writing a book. You gotta have, reason. You gotta have your why. You gotta have a lot of things.
Do you think your why has ever changed?
For what? Writing a book or going on a journey?
Both.
Both? Well, for writing a book, I want to write books because number one, to get my ideas out there and to see them fully grown, fully evolved. But two, because I'm a nerd, man. I love to I love comic books, right? I don't know if you saw, but I usually wear this all the time. It's my hat.
It's a staple piece. Personally, I believe that don't get me wrong, I probably put that shit on. This is a decent outfit, but I don't think I could put that shit on.
Yeah.
That's his staple piece. I don't see a lot. I couldn't see a lot of people wearing that. Him though, he can wear it. I've not seen a single fit that he did not put on with that hat on. He puts that shit on.
Yeah, but I'm a huge fan of comic books, huge fan of Marvel comics, and I guess the why is because I want to, I want to write about, flawed people with extraordinary abilities, right? I want to see how far I can take, a simple idea, right? And I know there's an audience for it, right? But the main reason is because part of my vision as a writer is to take these comic book concepts that Marvel comes up with. It's not exclusive to Marvel, but something Marvel-esque, right? Take a comic book idea, Marvel-esque, and turn it into a novel to reach the wider audience in the world of literature, right? Because comic books in the world of literature aren't taken seriously, right? And I'd say that's somewhat justified. Comics are pretty, bonkers at times, but I feel like
it shouldn't be viewed as juvenile.
Yeah, I feel like because comics are very, it's a very, very vast, but also very, very extraordinary medium, right? I think some of the greatest stories I've read were from comic books. And
That's valid. I can support that statement.
Yeah, I want people to
Ghostopolis, big time.
Yeah.
What's the name? Forgot the artist. Well, not just the artist, but the writer. Oh my god, they make great comic books. I'm gonna research them later on.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I think that comic books have a lot of interesting concepts and very, very, um, mind-opening stories. And I feel like if they're written in novel format, um, they can reach more people, right? Um, Also, I just feel like it's my purpose. I just feel like I was given this gift by God to write stories, and I'm gonna use it. As far as life, why I do life? Um, it's to please God, really. I mean, just to please my Creator. I feel like I was put on this earth for a reason. Um, I don't really know, in all honesty, what that reason is, despite my passions and my motivations as a writer. I don't really know, why I'm here, right? Um, but if I had to guess, I think it's to be an example of God's goodness to other people, right? And to show people the miracle that what God can do in a single person's life. Um, and that's how we see it right now. But I think it could change as I grow older. But as of right now, I feel like I'm here as an example of the good things, the great things, the amazing things that God can do.
Before we continue on to finding our purpose, I'm gonna go check the camera.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Womp 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 womp. Yeah, we're all good. But continuing on to like finding.
Yeah, no. What about you though?
So for me, at least, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not looking to find my purpose.
Yeah.
Well, not real. I don't really know how to say this, but my purpose right now is to continue, like, developing and growing my bloodline.
Right.
Or at least like continue growing in my country.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm kind of at that point where it's like everything I do is no longer just for me. Like it's for the people after me. It's for the people around me, and that's how I've always been. But I realize now that I can do that like for a good reason. Like I want to be at the end of my life. Like yes, like I'll have my stories, my experiences, my truths, but I want it to be a certain something that's not just me writing something out because my writings can easily be forgotten. But what I want is more concrete, more physical. Like I want I want to feel as though that at the end of my life, I know damn well that my family's good. Like I want some generational wealth, and to do that, I have to be willing to sacrifice things, like even just my original aspirations. Like at one point, I wanted to be an architect, and I realized I'm bad at math. But but like I had to come to terms with that, and what I did come to find out is I'm better at like therapy and asking people questions and like just feeling comfortable with people, reading rooms, reading energies. I got better at that, and I realized that could be my calling.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I have to stop at just that. Right. Like I decided like a long time ago that I was going to do this military thing and stick it out for as long as I can.
Yeah.
No.
The great thing about humans is we've been given the gift of limitless potential.
Factual statements, and that's kind of something that like I think about all the time. Like I no longer just want to do it for myself. Like I want to be able to say like on my deathbed or wherever I die. Because
I mean, wherever you die is gonna be a deathbed.
I wouldn't say it's gonna be bad. I wouldn't be surprised if I end up in a ditch. To be honest.
I mean, hey, isn't a ditch just a coffin? Like
no, like a ditch.
Yeah.
Like
but like
it's a rogue. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
If it happened, I'd be very, very. Well, I wouldn't be very sad.
I mean, I'd be sad if you died in a ditch.
If You
I'd
got.
be like, man, you went out like that?
I feel like it'd be very underwhelming.
Yeah, no, I think it would be too.
I feel like it'd be extremely underwhelming. But like continuing,
Yeah.
it's like I have an understanding that like until that moment, I want to keep like fighting for what my family can continue. Like I want to continue like showing what my family stands for. Like quite literally, I am the first of my name. I am the Hayes Miller, or one of the only Hayes Millers as of right now, and I want to like continue that. In all actuality, like my name is Hayes, but I want to be able to accept both parts of my family. So probably at some point I'll probably change it governmentally, like once I'm cemented into my career. But
when I'm, a full-fledged, comfortable adult, I might go by Frederick, officially. And then
Frederick.
No, but then you won't call me Frederick. You know what you call me? You call me Rick.
I'll call you bitch.
No, why?
I'm joking, but no, I can call.
Technically, I am a Rick. I go by Frederick, right? A nickname for Frederick can very well be Rick. It's not a thing. It's a thing now. I'm calling it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you want me to start calling you Rick, then I can just call you Rick.
Please don't.
Ready? Looking like 2007, boy.
Yeah.
Boy, is that you, Rick? Looking like 2015, going crazy in the paint. Hold on, Freddie.
Aw, jeez, Rick.
Yeah.
Another adventure. Aw, jeez. Yeah, no, but like.
But no, I fuck with that. Like, I always have. And like it's gotten much more like in development in the last 2-3 years, because it's just like, especially with like my school and like having like a legacy and like things you leave behind. Like I wanted to be a part of all these things for my school, and sadly I wasn't. I'm not that global and I'm not that known just yet. But that doesn't mean I can't do something to like represent my school in like a better light, a more positive light, a caring light. That's something that they could post about, they could share about, and put in the history books. Shoot, to be honest, you never know. I might be the first president out of my school.
Hey, maybe.
Well, I don't know about all that. I
No.
gotta read my Rook book. I have to read my Rook book when I get a chance, because I have to make sure that there hasn't been any presidents through Norwich University. But you never know. Yeah. But like what I do want is to be able to say that I left my mark. Not just my own mark, but something that I can say like my family could always come back to.
Right.
Like I want that lineage. I want that generational wealth. I want that. I want old money. I want it bad.
Yeah.
I want it bad, real bad.
That's quite the investment. And if you're looking for it to start with you, just know that you're not gonna see that like the totality of your.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, no.
True. I've as I said, like I came to terms with the fact that I'm sorry. I've said that 3 times. We should probably start a counter at this point.
No, I don't think we need to.
I'm 100% starting a counter. I feel like it'd be funny. But
yeah, we could.
But no, like I have an understanding that like to have that type of old money, I have to be willing to sacrifice everything in the pursuit of my family. So I will do so. And then whoever stands around me will be around me.
Good on you.
If I die knowing that my family is successful or like continuing on, then I'm okay. I hope that I can make it to see at least a little bit of it, but it's whatever.
And honestly, I want someone to, other than God himself, I want someone to journey with, right? And I'm not saying that
that was horrible.
It was.
Okay. We gonna get right. Okay. Fuck that ring! Yeah!
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 Well, someone to journey with, someone that adds to my peace, right? And that adds to the
experience.
To the experience and the investment, right?
Could you throw me my ring?
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get it back?
No, it fell on the ground.
Okay, I'll get it.
I appreciate you.
But yeah, no, I feel like I really want someone to journey with. But you know what? We're not gonna chase.
We don't chase things.
We don't chase things.
But we are in the hunt.
Sure.
You don't have to chase to be in the hunt. You could just sit and wait. You can just be ready for it and accepting of it.
I really want someone to journey with, but I understand that I need time by myself first, and I need to get myself right.
For real, Ski?
For real, Ski.
I love that. I love that for you.
Yeah.
What's the name? So we're pretty much down to the wire, but one of the things that I wanted to go into is navigating uncertainties.
Navigating through uncertainties.
Yeah. So pretty much as we've said this whole time, we're gonna have our setbacks, we're gonna have our questions, our doubts in ourself, our doubts in our beliefs, and our doubts in our actions. But stay the course. If you feel as though, truthfully, in your heart of hearts, that this is a moot point, then please stop it. You're only hurting yourself. But if you have any doubts, any doubts that this might be something that you can continue doing for the rest of your life, then do it.
What are some doubts that you've had?
Oh!
I know that's
no.
Can of worms.
Nah.
It's a loaded question.
I know. That's a very loaded question.
Yeah.
But one of the doubts is that am I going to be good enough for my country, for my family, for my people? Am I even good enough to be this host?
Yeah.
Well, not good enough, but a decent enough human being to be this host.
Yeah, I'm the opposite into where my main concern, will I be able to sustain myself, right? Because I'm a huge advocate for my own independence, right? But I guess the flip side of that is, am I able to maintain and sustain that, right? Because my biggest fear is that I'm 30 years old, no job, still here in this house, right? And obviously, that's not gonna happen.
Boy, I'm gonna come get you before that. We're gonna be roommates.
Right? Yeah, no. Please come get me. Right?
Boy,
but
we're gonna be roommates. I want you to understand this. I've already explained to the main woman that is that I'm probably gonna end up marrying at some point. I've already explained to her that there is a good amount of time before I even think of marriage, before I even think of heavily dating.
Bro, marriage ain't even on my mind right now.
Marriage is on my mind. That BAH is coming my way. As soon as I get in, the bag must be chased. But that is a great bag to catch.
Yeah, no, but I had this fear that I won't be able to find a job, that I won't be able to get my own house, that I won't find the love of my life, and that I'll just be here in the same place, writing, but the writings aren't going anywhere. But I guess my biggest fear is just being content with that, right? I guess my biggest fear is being in a really low point, but being content with that low point.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So, one of the things with that is, do you view that as a failure, though? And if it is a view of a failure, are you content with the fact that it's a failure?
I think failure can only be measured by what we measure as success.
So, do you measure that as success?
Certainly not, right? Because I think the failure in that is that it's that future is void of self-reliance, right? the fact that I'm 30 and living in my parents' house, which says that I'm relying on my parents to keep a roof over my head. No job is relying on my parents' money to, to get my needs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I know it's not gonna happen. I work, right?
Quite diligently.
I work quite digitally. I like to say, I like to believe that I work quite digitally toward my vision and my goal. But I guess the annoying part, the stressful part, is when I'm chilling, right? When I'm chilling on winter break, where I worked my butt off during the semester. I worked hard to get the good grades, and I can chill, and I get this vision that I'm content with just not being in, you know, content with not being to where I want to be. And I guess what perpetuates that, unironically, right,
Mm-hmm.
is the sight of, my older sister living in her own house, paying her own bills, being with the love of her life. And I would be honest, I'm not jealous, right? Because jealousy does nothing for me. Envy does nothing for me.
But you admire it.
I admire it so much, and I want that for myself.
You will get it.
I know, but
I died before I let that. As I said,
Yeah.
hey, we was in that mall the other day. I was literally about to pass out, holding that wheelchair. Yeah, no. For context, so we went on a little excursion, right, to Tyson's. This motherfucker, I wasn't even paying attention. This man was like dropping like premium Gary Riz, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay,
what are you
if
talking about?
mind you,
I was having a conversation.
Caparilla. Yeah, that's
I was just having a conversation. I don't know what you mean.
Bro, you stood up out of a wheelchair to have the conversation.
I had to look him in the eye,
Bull job. Yeah, no. So we're in the place and we're like chilling, right? He sees this girl. Like, well, no, the girl sees him pretty much. The girl sees him. She starts striking up a conversation. Mind you, normally Caleb is he's the much more reserved conversationalist, so he'll talk to you, but he's very, very calm about it. He gets to like where the main topic of the conversation is. This nigga stands up in the wheelchair, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my god,
It's a catfish.
it's like, oh my god, you're wildin'. But what's the name? Like he stands up, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. So in natural fashion, I'ma hold that wheelchair until he feels as low. He's done with the conversation, or he's done risen, or he's got that number. He continues doing that thing. And he's talking her up. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, if this man falls, I'm a horrible man. Like, I suck. He falls. I almost cry. He gets back up. I'm like, yeah, he's a W. He's not falling. He's not falling.
We weren't there long enough for me to get that number, but like,
bro, if you really wanted to, I feel like you could have got the number easy.
I could have. I really could have.
Dog, we had enough time for me to like plan a trip to Canada. An imaginary trip to Canada. I had been thinking about a freaking thrifting adventure and all that.
Yeah. But like, point being, right? Point being is that, I never take that leap, right? I never take that leap out of my parents' house, right? I've had dreams. I don't want to say manifest because I haven't, really done anything to work towards that because I'm still in college. Mm-hmm. But I've said to myself that after college, at some point, I don't know the day nor the hour, but at some point, I want to get my own apartment. Right? Mm-hmm. I brought this up to my parents, and I don't quite remember how the conversation went. But, point is, I put it out there, right? And so from now on, that's always going to be on my mind, right? Getting my own apartment, right? And I think the main thing that's saving me from that, prophecy of doom that I set for myself, 30 living in my parents' house, is that I can recognize that I have drive, right? I have vision.
You have ambition.
I have ambition. So, yeah, I may have these fears, but at the same time, I'm not going to let myself stay there. Right? I'm not going to let that come true because, when the tough gets going, the going gets tough. I keep going.
He will not fall. He stands on business, even if it hurts.
I mean, hey, if you want to put it that way, yeah, I guess I do stand on business.
Standing on business. Oh, don't copyright me.
But yeah, no, I can't allow myself to fall that far. I guess the fear is, that's what I mean by the fear of being content. That contentness being allowing myself to fall that far.
See, that's the thing. I don't think so. For me, at least, you're allowed to have any fears or whatever judgments. Yeah. It's not the fear of failure for me. Mm-hmm. It's the fear of not wanting to recover or not being able to recover.
Right.
Like that is where contentness lies for me. The feeling that like I'm happy with not being out of my mother's house.
Yeah.
The feeling that I'm happy that like I'm not supporting them the way I'm supposed to.
Right.
The feeling that like I'm not going after what I truly want in this world, mm-hmm. which is my old money.
Right.
I know what I want and I'm willing to die for it. And I know people can just say that, but like,
you mean that?
Like, and I'm really willing to die for this shit. Like, I'm really willing to die for a lot of things, as you can see. But
yeah, what are you willing to live for?
That is something that I will continue to find through this day, because like I'm willing to live for myself.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I could only just live for my own self. Like I can, but like there will be a point where it's like I want to live for someone else. I want to be there and support someone else. I want to be someone's role model.
Yeah, I do want to have a son. I want to have a son.
And I want to have a daughter. I want a little princess.
I want a kid.
He'll come. It'll come. It'll come eventually.
I know.
Fuck around.
Well,
fuck around. We're 30. We both have our kids playing and shit.
I'm not, on my knees begging and pleading. Right? I'm willing to wait. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to put in work. I'm willing to wait. But I'm just saying, let it be known that I do want that. And it's weird, right? Because like that's something that like you can't chase that sort of thing, right? Like you can be like, I want a wife and 2 kids. Like
the American dream.
Huh?
The American dream.
Well, I'm good with having 1 kid, right? Mm-hmm. I'm good with having no kids. It's just like
you don't want to end your life alone.
Yeah, and not the alone as in like nobody around. So I have people around me, like, but I don't want to be like, I want to have like a creative family.
You want to have something that you put together by yourself. Mm-hmm. I can rock with that.
Yeah.
I can always rock with that.
Obviously, I don't want to die without, getting into another relationship. But,
Big time.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think we tackled this loaded question of the journey pretty well. What do you say?
Indeed. Shoot, I was going to ask you about, like, balancing priorities and shit and community support. But we already hit community support and balancing priorities, like...
That could be part 2.
Bro, this is like the last part. Like this episode is over. Like after like balancing priorities. Like if you want to do a part 2, we can just rehash all the questions and ask other people.
Let's do it. Balancing priorities. What about it?
So, to be honest, like, nah, fuck it, ending it. Shut that shit down.
What? Yeah, really?
Yeah. What's the name? I got a better idea.
Okay.
I got a better idea for an episode. And balancing priorities, it'd be nice to like go into this like topic with it.
Okay.
But I feel like it can be expanded upon with the episode that me and my brother are gonna do.
Okay.
So fuck around. Me, you, and him could get on that episode.
Alright.
I literally been thinking about that episode for weeks.
Balancing priorities. I like it.
It's not just balancing priorities, but it's more of like dealing with commitments. And like accepting the fact that you have commitments and shit like that. Right. I forgot what the episode exactly is called, but quite literally, I'm writing the script right now for it.
Okay.
I wrote that before I wrote this.
Yeah, all right.
Because I was literally saying I need to record an episode with my brother, and I knew for certain that I wanted to go over this like that type of subject. So balancing priorities. I think what I'm gonna do is I'll make that episode like accepting commitments and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. like as a part 1, part 2.
Right.
And this will just be
One part.
one shot.
Okay.
One shot, one take.
One shot, one take.
Freestyles and all.
Yup.
We're not doing a freestyle. Not right now, at least.
No.
Who said that?
I can't spit bars.
Who said that? Boy, do not make me play that 2013.
One fish, two fish, that's all I got.
I'm telling you right now, you have a little bit more than you think you do. I do it all the time.
I mean, probably, but
true.
that's not where I'm going with my life.
To be honest, quite literally, like 2 days ago, me and my brother sat in our kitchen and we just did West Side Gun ad-libs and freestyled for like an hour straight while we were making dinner. Like, that was hilarious.
I mean, I'd be down to do that one day, for real.
Bet that.
All right.
Bet that.
But, yeah, it's been a pleasure being on Tough in the Tune once again.
Yes.
Thank you for having me on the episode.
Sure, it's an honor to have you, Caleb. And I realized that I didn't introduce you, but you really don't need an introduction.
I mean, hey, it started with me, it'll end with me.
Most likely. But I greatly appreciate that you're always willing to like sit down and have a conversations regarding this.
Anytime.
Big time. What's the name? We're gonna add that to the counter. As I would always say, I hope this is a long-standing podcast that everyone could feel comfortable speaking, spitting, not literally.
Cowboy spit.
Yeah. Ding. I hope that everyone can always have like this is a space to like listen, spit on, and like be able to like embrace. Like, don't get me wrong, like this is our experience with this life shit.
Yeah.
Like, even like as I said before, I don't remember a lot of things like face value. Like, I don't remember all my life, but like when it does hit, ooh, that jump be hitting.
Yeah. Also, I had an idea for a part 2. So for part 2, today we talked about the journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
What it means for you, what does it mean to like have these aspirations, these goals? You know, what a journey looks like for a person. I think next time, good part 2 would be other people in relationship to that journey, right? Or more specifically, the enemy of comparison, right? How comparison can hinder that journey.
I fuck with that.
Yeah.
So in that case, this is not just a one shot, one take. This is gonna be a 2-part, but the second part, but part 2 is gonna be a little bit different. We are probably gonna report part 2. Oh my god, I have so many freaking part 2s to record.
When he gets to it.
Yeah.
We'll do it when he gets to it.
When we get to it. Wallahi, I'm
part
finished.
2 is coming.
I'm so finished.
I know. But,
I have so many part 2s to record now.
I have so many stories to write.
But with that just keeps giving us things to do and keeping us busy. To be honest, like I'm on break right now from college, as I said before. I think I might have said that before.
Yeah, you did. You said at the beginning.
And when I'm on break, I tend to just fill myself with busy time. Like right now, I'm editing the last episode to like try to get that out. I don't know when this episode is gonna get out. It'll get out whenever.
I think it's a really great episode.
This is a great episode. This is a W episode.
Yeah.
I really hope I'm not too loud in this mic.
Yeah.
But what's the name?
That'd be pretty bad.
That'd be very bad. But I do have an understanding is this is a great episode. I always love having episodes with you because it's like it's
such a pleasure to do these. I mean, like, you know, when you first came to me with this, I thought it was a little ridiculous. But you know, now that I'm actually in the chair doing it, you know, I really enjoy it. So,
the doubters no longer doubt.
I mean, hey, that's a symbol of success when you turn a doubter into a supporter.
Indeed.
But yeah, no, being here in this podcast, is cathartic, right? Because other than my stories, right, I feel like this is also a way I can tell people about my life, my stories, what God is doing in my life, stuff like that. So, yeah, I really enjoy being here. Really enjoy spending this time with you, someone I call a brother, and just helping this thing grow.
Respect to that, brother. Yeah. And I appreciate you. As I always say, avidase, au revoir, ciao, and bye.
See ya.